So there we go. We've got those all connected up reasonably neatly now, but we haven't returned any of our screws to the required manufacturer's torque setting. So if we look at the instructions and we look at the torque table it gives us here, it says for the RCD, which they're talking about this here, the RCD, you must be up at 2.5 Newton meters of torque. At the moment, we haven't got our tails connected or anything, so we're not going to worry about that one for the time being. MCB, miniature circuit breaker, we've used a 6 amp one here. It says you can go up to 16 millimeter squared cable, we use 1.5, and it's 2.5 Newton meters of torque. And then our earth and neutral bars are all the same. For those terminals, they are 2 Newton meters. So these here are 2. And the top of there is 2.5 Newton meters of torque, and it's vitally important you return them to the required torque setting from the manufacturer. So in order to do so, you're going to need a torque screwdriver. Let's start off by changing the torque for 2.5. So if we look in that window there, we can see we're at 2 at the minute, so let's change that. If we go this way, we've gone to 2.2, and we go to 2.4 there. I know it's tricky for you to see. So we're actually got to be between windows. So I'll go for the next one. That will be 2.6 Newton meters of torque. So I need to rotate it back until I'm in a blank window on this style of screwdriver, and that would be at 2.5 Newton meters of torque. Use the adjusting bar to do so. I'll return the rest of my screwdriver handle into position. If I unlock this, you take a look at that head. That's different than a pozi head. That's called a slotted pozi head. Okay, so that's a slotted pozi. And that's what we're going to need to return these screws correctly. So if we look at the heads in there, you can see you've got both the pozi and a slot in the screw. And we're going to use the appropriate slotted pozi number 2 in order to connect those together. So let's put that into position. We drop it into there, and for this style of screwdriver we need to lock it off. So I've pushed that up, and that's locked the slotted pozi 2 into position. I've gone on top of the screw, which was only done gently with a screwdriver. And now what I've got to do is get it tight. I need to push down quite firmly with my screwdriver and hear one click. When I've clicked, I've got to the required torque setting. So there we go, we're tightening. We're still tightening, and I'm listening for one click. There we go. So that is at 2.5 Newton meters of torque. And that terminal is exactly what the manufacturer requires for the torque setting. Got to drop these now to 2. So let's take this one back out. Pull it out, bring in my adjusting bar. And I've now got to change that torque setting. So as I rotate it around, I'm now back at 2.2. And we can see this time, because we're an even number, we're at 2 there. So if I was between the 2, so if I was at 2.2, I wanted 2.1 would be that blank window. When I turn it to there, I'm at 2 Newton meters of torque. So I use my adjusting bar, bring back in the remaining parts of my screwdriver, make sure this is locked into position. Often that unclicks. So make sure that's locked in. And both of these now need returning to 2. So again, I only did it gently to start with, so I feel it going tighter, and then lots of pressure, and we should hear it. There you go, it clicked, and that's all you need to hear is one click. Move on to the CPC and the earth bar, and we go again. There we go, that was harder than I thought. So there we go, so we've got that up to 2 Newton meters of torque in order to get that one connected. So you might be thinking, that's it, I'm finished. No, it isn't. Remember, we inserted our bus bar down here, and we've got a connection here and here that were already made when it was brought in from the manufacturer. So I'm going to back this one off using my pozi screwdriver. I'm going to take that one back off, and I'm going to take this one back off. Okay, so we know that all our terminals within our neutral and earth bar must be up to 2 Newton meters of torque, which our screwdriver is set to. So we're going to check first of all the neutral, then we're going to go down and look at the RCCB at 2.5, and our MCBs were also at 2.5. So what we're saying there is this one here needs to be returned to 2, but any of the connections at the bottom here that we've also looked at need to be returned, as it says there, to 2.5 Newton meters of torque, which is on there as well. So we're going to stick with the 2. So bring back this one. I'm going to go back to 2. So I loosened it off first with a normal screwdriver. There we go. That's at 2 Newton meters of torque. But once we get to here, these need to be 2.5 again. And we must confirm all the terminations are at the required torque setting. So bring back in my bar. and I've now got to bring it back up. So here we go, that should be 2.4, and the blank window there is 2.5. Bring back in my mechanism, make sure I'm locked off, and then we're going to do these ones, which we know were loose. So push nice and firmly, click. It's tightening up, one click. It's tightening up, one click. And the last one click. There we go.